Hate advice? Taco Bob to the rescue. Time for Ask Taco Bob.
On 101.1 WJRR.
We are Orlando's rock station. LCTB is brought to you by Petty's Meats, State Road 434 in Longwood. Just a stone's throw west of I-4, and same place it's been for about 40 years.
Great business.
You got to turn that red button on there, Life Coach.
Donnie usually turns it on for me. He didn't. Yeah, great place. If you can keep a business open 40 years, going through everything this world's been through, go to Petty's. You'll see why they're that good. High quality steaks and meat cuts, chicken, pork, you name it, they have it all. I saw people there last week stocking up for the races, the 500. Did they ever get that thing run?
Yeah, they ran it Monday.
Okay.
You're a top shelf kind of guy. You know these things. Mm-hmm. Nothing but the finest.
You can go there and the whole dinner, you can buy a dinner that's already done for you. I mean, it's idiot proof. Or you can go in, pick out what you want piece by piece, with appetizer, dinner, sides. They even have dessert and some wine.
All right, Life Coach, a lot of questions have rolled in here this week. People reaching out for some guidance.
I understand.
Some advice.
Why I'm here, 22526. If I don't get to your question, I'll print it. Everything good in your life there, Sport?
Yeah, you are looking dapper, by the way, up on Facebook Live with the sports coat. Looks like it was freshly dry cleaned.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. LC, we'll get right to it. Ooh, will the great Life Coach drop in on the Florida Man games this weekend in St. Augustine? I'd love to have a cold one with you. I know Florida Man games are my cuppa, Java, really.
Not usually the crowd you run with?
No, I mean, I could go there and drop some cards and do some counseling. I'd probably make a killing,
Yeah.
But, no, so I don't know if I'll be joining you up there. LC, I have a coworker that continues to use my stuff from my desk and not return it. Like my stapler, tape, and don't even get me started on pens.
God, you sound like that guy I work with. It's unbelievable.
Oh, people mess with his stuff on his desk?
Yeah, he gets hot under the collar about that.
Well, you can give him the same advice I'll give this person. Just put it all in a lockable drawer. And lock it. I mean, most offices, if you're in a true workspace, it should have a lockable drawer nearby you. If you don't, and you just have regular drawers, not underwear, regular drawers to put stuff in, then strategically place a few rat traps in there. The borrowing will stop because, And then the coworker's going to be out for a bit, because they can't even use the stapler or the pens they're not going to come back for them because they have no use for it. They have broken fingers and lacerations and all that.
I'll have to think about that. I might take that. I'll see if there's room next to the Jameson bottle in my locked drawer.
You cracked that sucker yet? You giving it?
Yet. What?
Oh, I figured that was the one that you kept in there. So when you finally just said, you know what? I can't take it anymore.
How do you think I make it through each day?
Life Coach, this may sound trivial. Nothing is too trivial. You know how they say, no question's dumb, nothing's too trivial either. But it drives me crazy that my wife still refers to her father as daddy. It just kind of makes me cringe because she's 40 years old. Oh, kind of babyish. I can understand that. It sounds a little babyish. But what if she called you daddy? I mean, you like that, right? Would it bug you if she called me daddy?
Who's your daddy?
What about Pat? If she called him Patty Daddy? See, calling your actual dad daddy doesn't sound that bad anymore, does it? Did you see what I did there? That was a true technique I use in counseling. I mean, for God's sakes, it can always be worse, sir. Just, she could, be giving her brother handies. So it could always be worse. Calling dad daddy and sounding like a baby, don't get over it. LCTB, I'm concerned for...
What was that about her brother? Never mind.
Yeah. LCTB, I'm concerned for my family's safety because my next door neighbor has 2 big aggressive dogs. What should I do about the situation? Yeah, big dogs next door, you got to be really careful. Make sure there's no holes under the fence, first of all, because big dogs tend to dig. And their patterns if they get out every now and then. Here's what you do. You have each family member carry a stake And then when the dog's charging at them, you just throw it like this so the dog can see the hunk of red beef and meat flying by him, right? You don't want to throw it too far and the dog just keeps running for your face. So you just throw it. All you have to do, you head down to the grocery store and get like a family pack of the cheap steaks. You know what I'm talking about, right? Not cheap skates, cheap steaks. And then
and you're going to do this on a daily basis.
Well, no, only when they're out. Like if they broke free of their enclosure. And then if something happens, truly, you call Jeff Kaufman. Okay? He'll take care of you. Careful with your family around mean dogs. That's serious. What's the perfect type of... Wow, listen to this one. What's the perfect type of date scenario for the life coach? Like if I was to go on a date.
What do you mean, if?
Or like when? I'd say perfect date scenario would kind of go like, I'd come across a tall drink of water at the museum and let her know, if she's so inclined, I'd like to frolic. Next, I'd take her to the park, not one with like swings and a kid's playground. We're talking about like a sexy park, right? I'd spread out a nice blanket, uncork a vintage vino. After a few glasses, next I'd service her vulva for her. I'd gently pop the hood and caress the block of her vulva. Before changing her oil, she'd be so hot and heavy screaming, "No, not the dipstick, life coach." As I slowly pulled it out to check her fluids, she'd be in total disarray. Disheveled hair, just like an 80s rocker video. Completely turned on by my manliness while I tuned up her vulva. Then I'd slap a sticker in the upper left-hand corner of her windshield saying, "You're good for another 5,000 miles.
I was wondering when you were going to come back to us. Seemed like you had daydreamed on us a little bit.
I feel like I was in that old school movie where Will Ferrell busted. Woo.
I think that was more of a complete answer than any of us were expecting from the listener.
Look at the people that text in here. Look at this one. Hey, that was much more romantic than this. Take a heavy out of the West Coast for some whale watching. You got some heathens that listen to this show, man. LC, a husband started growing his hair while working. Okay, husband started growing his hair long while working from home with COVID. I'm fine with the long hair. Now he's putting it in a man bun. That I'm not down with. First thing I notice is how she says the husband. As a life coach, we analyze things. You can always tell when wives are pissed because the is what they use instead of my husband, right? They don't claim them. So you don't even have to text back, ma'am. I already deciphered this whole thing. I can read between the lines being a life coach. Some of your friends think he's hot, right? With the man bun. I think that's what it comes down to. Think about it. The husband instead of my. Okay, it's time that you do reverse psychology, ma'am. You tell him the exact opposite. Tell him that a few of your friends have been commenting that your man bun makes you look like a sissy. And, you got to name the two hottest friends. You know who they are, and he knows who they are. Like Cynthia and Monique. That thing will be cut off by tomorrow. Time, how are we doing?
I think you can fit one more in. LC.
And again, if I didn't get to all these, I guess 22526, I'll print them out.
We have that pesky commercial-free Workday Rock coming up.
Coach, I kind of screwed up Valentine's Day with the girlfriend. And when I say kind of screwed up, I mean I really screwed up. I totally forgot what day it was, went golfing with a friend, then hit nickel beer after, ended up passing out at his apartment. Oh, my God. Passing out at his friend's apartment, came back the next day to his place, him and his gal's place, to find a note. So you got pickled at nickel beer. That's what it comes down to. Man, you did blow it. I hope you like your friend's apartment because you might just be moving in there. Yeah, jewelry. That jewelry, it's not even going to make up for this. Jewelry now, it's too late. Even like an engagement ring, I don't think you're set for that one if you can't remember Valentine's Day. Only thing I could think of is maybe buy her a car. And you tell her all of Valentine's Day that you were car shopping at a lot and they wouldn't let you go. You know how the hagglers are, right?
Kept you all night.
Yeah, might I suggest a pre-owned vulva? Hey, Donnie, let's get the hell out of here, bud.
Boy, get while the getting's good. Thank you, LC.
Taco on demand. Download the iHeartRadio app.